conflict in Nagorno-Karabakh has become even more intense than before. The European churches are really concerned. The objective of KEK, Pathways to Peace, really aims to build justice, peace and reconciliation. We have with us today Father Garegin, KEK Governing Board member from the Armenian Church. Can you please tell us about the situation in Nagorno-Karabakh and how is it affecting the churches in particular?
Well, thank you for inviting me to speak about the situation in Nagorno-Karabakh. At the moment, the situation is tragic because, as you know, in 2020, Azerbaijan unleashed a war against the people of Nagorno-Karabakh, which we call Artsakh in Armenia. It's called Artsakh by the Armenians. And Armenians of Nagorno-Karabakh had to fight for their rights to live in their ancestral lands, where for thousands of years Christian Armenians have lived and have created their own culture and life, and created culture that goes beyond just belonging to the Armenians, but the culture, the churches, monasteries that belong to the worldwide Christianity. And during this war, many thousand Armenians suffered, and more than 5,000 soldiers were killed in the war. And since the end of the war in November 2020, Armenians have been in a very difficult situation in Nagorno-Karabakh, and to an extent that Azerbaijan blockaded the only road that would connect Armenia with Nagorno-Karabakh, which would be the only road of food and other essential supplies for the Armenians. So for 5 months, since December 2022 up to September 2023, the road was blockaded, and unfortunately in September 2023, just 2 months ago, Azerbaijan again started a very heavy military attack against the people of Nagorno-Karabakh. To an extent that Armenians, the entire population of Nagorno-Karabakh, had to flee their ancestral home, and they found refuge in Armenia now. So we have this displaced 120,000 Armenians, including 30,000 children, who are deprived of their rights of living in their own homes and to practice their faith.
What role do you see for KEK through Pathways to Peace to play in this particular situation of Armenians?
Well, I strongly believe that in order to achieve stable peace anywhere in the world, and in this case in South Caucasus, between Armenia and Azerbaijan, one needs to respect each other's rights and each other's history and culture. Unfortunately, we witness that Azerbaijan has been promoting its state policy of disregarding the history of the Armenians of Nagorno-Karabakh. On one hand, they desecrate, they destroy the Armenian churches as witnesses of Armenian presence in Nagorno-Karabakh. On the other hand, whenever they can't destroy this or that church, what they say, well, actually these churches don't belong to the Armenians, but to another small minority that used to live in the region. So we see that this state-promoted policy in a way hinders any possibility of attaining lasting peace in the region. And KEK in this respect has been quite supportive, and we see that KEK has been vocal in speaking about the rights of the Christian Armenians, and also the importance, the cruciality of preserving the thousands of years old Christian Armenian cultural heritage of Nagorno-Karabakh.
I mean, this situation of conflict, as a Christian, where do you see some hope?
Well, as a Christian, obviously the hope that comes from God for us, and all our prayers are directed to God. And people think that God is always the last hope. Whenever you exhaust all the possibilities on earth, then you actually ask God to intervene. But I think as true Christians, we have to think about, we have to consider God's presence as something that is important to have in the beginning. And as a church that has been guiding the Armenian nation for thousands of years, since the first century, the church has been always promoting this idea of putting our trust in God.
Thank you very much for your insights. It's with keen interest that we follow what Pathways to Peace achieve in your region in particular. Follow us on social media to learn more.